Yes, we are back talking turf. Who would have thought it? And Nerd's got absolutely nothing to do with the results.
No.
But as always, you've got 60 seconds. Go and grab yourself a drink, whatnot. We've got plenty of tackle. See you in 60. Oh, Gary, hello, mate. How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
I've missed that. You've got to admit it. You missed that.
The music guy.
And I know what it's looking like to people that, we stopped going on because we used to come on all the time when Man U was shit, didn't we?
Aye. Way
We never hit a weight. Let's just be honest. You've got your own business. I've got my own business. We've started the gym. We've did whatever. And life just gets in front of you, doesn't it? It does. And then,
That's basically how it comes under, aye. We'll play football and stuff as well. So, aye. And then you get caught up in it. Obviously, Newcastle's had a lot of games and Champions League and stuff. So it hasn't really fitted in for as much as it did last season. Especially for the people that come on and stuff like that. They'll be watching the team play and that. So, aye, it's just been difficult, but. Yesterday says, however, we'll fire it there. People's been asking about it, so why not?
Why not? Exactly. Just a bit of crack between a couple of lads, and you're more than welcome to get involved. Get in the comments. If you want to even jump on the show, give us a shout. I'll send you a link. Jump on. Give me your thoughts. There's loads and loads to talk about. But as always, what we'll do is we'll go through the results from yesterday. We'll not bother with the other 6 weeks, Gary. We'll just go through the results from yesterday. And first up, I've got Leeds against Nottingham Forest. It was Friday night. Leeds obviously 2-0 up at half-time there, as you can see. Dominic Calvert-Lewin still doing it in the Premier League scores. A lot of subs, a lot of bookings, and Forest grab one late on, mate. 3-1. It finishes to Leeds. The stats show that Leeds had obviously a lot of ball possession, but Forest actually had more shots and more shots on target. Expected goals was 2.5 for Leeds, 1.33 for Forest. It's a big win that, Gary, for Leeds.
Definitely, because it's been there. I think it's their home form, isn't it, Leeds, where they pick most of the points up. The strong side at home, they give most teams a game there. But you're right, because I think the last 4 or 5 weeks they seem to have been getting sucked into that relegation battle, didn't they? And they just couldn't get a win, although Calvert-Lewin was scoring goals and that they were getting dragged into it. I think mainly by how well West Ham's been playing. As much as anything else, obviously they keep winning, so they're dragging everyone else in. But it's kind of getting done to the wire. I feel like.
Aye, no, I do as well. I think Leeds' home form was always going to be key, mate, because they're going to have to be hard to beat there. And it's proved right. I mean, we'll have a quick look at the league if I can standings. So that yesterday, I mean, the 16th and 17th. It was. You talk about a 6-pointer. It really was a 6-pointer. And Leeds come out on top. Do you think any of them will get relegated, mate?
I've got a funny feeling that West Ham's going to get out of that. They've brought another couple of players in through in the January there. And I think he's a decent manager. He seems to be getting them playing a little bit. No, they're one of them teams where you don't really like West Ham, but like I've watched them like the last few weeks, and they're not a bad side. Like really, there's a few good teams in the league. Like, but he's getting them to play, like I say, with fresh faces in, and I've got a feeling that they're going to sneak out of it. So it's going to pull either Leeds or Forest into that there.
I mean, he is a good manager. I don't think he was given much of a chance really at where he was before at Spurs. Sorry, I mean, obviously he was at Forest, wasn't he? He did really well there, but he just didn't get on with the owners. I don't think anybody can get on with them owners. I think you're right. I just hope that it's not on Tuesday night that they start climbing out. To be honest,
I know.
So a few people's messaging in already there. I didn't even have we'll get anybody on because we hadn't been on that long. But your Amanda's there. Evening, lads. Good evening, Amanda.
Hello, you alright?
Crypto Daily says Arsenal for the title. That's Hugh Daly, from London.
Yep.
Nice. I think you're probably right. As much as I didn't really want you to win it, but that game the night, which we'll talk about, is something that can actually change your season, even though you weren't playing. Like psychologically, we'll come to it. All right, Mel. All right, Gary. How you doing? That's Army. Hello, Army. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Russell. You all right?
Yes. Little Melly's on there. Hello. He says United, and well, mind the gap. Wait, mind the gap, Newcastle. Right, let's move on. What's up next? We have got so good point for Leeds. We'll move on. The next game was Manchester United against Tottenham, mate. Obviously, we were there. Michael Oliver, ref. I haven't seen it again, mate. I didn't think it was a red card. I honestly didn't. It changed the game. He's probably right for sending him off, and he cannot then take it back because, it's not a clear and obvious ever from Michael Oliver. He sends Romero off, and then Mbembo scores. And like you were saying yesterday, mate, most of Mbembo's goals, people think nowadays they're looking just to blast it as hard as they can. He's literally placing every ball into the corner. It's pure class. An assist from Kobe Mainoo, who couldn't get a game under Ruben Amorim. Michael Carrick's come in. He's given him a new lease of life, and he's taking his chance. And then Bruno Fernandes, Mr. Reliable, makes it 2-0 to Man United and finishes the game off, mate. Nice to see young Fletcher come on and make his debut after 92 minutes in the Premier League. That is always good to see. I thought I had that on the stage, but I didn't. Another convincing win for Man United, mate. That's 4 Carrick off the trot. It hasn't been done since 2024. Have we turned the corner? But more importantly, are we going to win the league?
We'll not get too carried away, but I definitely think we've turned the corner. It's basically just playing people in the right positions. And like you say, giving them a little bit of freedom, tell them to go out and express themselves. They're playing with like a smile on their face. They're all working hard for each other, which is the main thing. Whereas before, it looked like it was mainly like individuals, but he's really brought them together. Like you can see them fighting for each other. But we have watched some absolute dross over the past 4 or 5 seasons at that place. But it's nice and refreshing to watch at the minute. It's like the crowd singing, because they can see the players are working hard, they're trying to play well, and they're being played in the right positions. But it's brilliant at the minute, but long may it continue.
You actually look forward to going again, didn't you?
We did. We've said that, half of the time we're just dragging ourselves there because, obviously we're season ticket holders. But it wasn't because we really, really wanted it. But at the minute, you shouldn't be going to football matches thinking, I wonder what the day is going to bring. You expect the standard. And then when it exceeds that, I would have won. But our level's been so bad over the last few years. But it's nice to see we get a few wins. Somebody
said to me, let's just touch on Ruben Amorim. Someone said to me that under him, Man United had to, if they retained the ball, if they won the ball back from an opposition, didn't matter how far into the opposition's half they were, that they then had to come back, and the centre half had to touch the ball, which meant the centre half touching the ball meant that we had time to reset, and then we could attack the way that Ruben wanted to attack. And then my argument was, well, that also gives them the chance to reset, to sort themselves out. And then when you look at it, when you look back and you're watching the games now, it makes total sense that that has actually happened because it like hour and hour again, you'd be watching the football, you'd be going, what's he doing? Why is he getting back? Getting forward. It's frustrating. So in hindsight, you know, I didn't want Ruben Amorim to get sacked. I'm going to be honest. I wanted him to succeed. And, you know, like I didn't want a constant conveyor belt of managers coming through the club. Instead he's a club. But looking at it like now, Carrick's come in and he's like give them the freedom to like can't play where they want to play, right? And they're literally running through brick walls for him. You can see Casemiro's jumping on his back and everything, you know, like at the end of games, and they literally want to play for him. So that comes back to this Man United mold that they're trying to create. So they want the likes of Barada and Wilcox to manage the club, manage who comes in, who goes out, contracts, sponsorships, etc., etc. And they literally just want somebody like Michael Carrick to coach the players. That's it. You just coach that team. Whoever we give you, you coach. We'll manage everything else. Is that the right way to go, or do you think we need a manager who does all that?
No, I totally agree with it. I think that's the profile that they want to, the way they want to run the club. Because I think, like previously, like Sir Gary Neville and everyone was saying, like Man United haven't got a structure there. So they put a structure in place now, and if that's the way that I think it's going to work best, like I mean, I'll be honest with you, like I think the recruitment for us over the past like 2 seasons, maybe, it's like I think it's been pretty good. If you look at the likes of Dogu, people turned their nose up when they brought the keeper in, the young keeper. Saying it was an option between either a £30 million for Martinez from Aston Villa, who we wanted. Let's be honest, we did want it and we could have, but that didn't happen. But I mean, that looks like an absolute masterstroke that they've brought that young lad in, because I think he's excellent.
Yes.
You look at Patrick Dogu, he was another one that was 14 million or something. That other kid was 14 million. Haven from Arsenal, granted he's still young, but he looks good when he plays. I mean, he was 1 million. And then the 3 summer signings, especially Cunha and Mbuemo, my God. They would literally get in any team in the league, I feel. So,
you agree, obviously, with the way that they're going to do things?
It looks like it's better, doesn't it?
Aye. Because we've had all the big managers, haven't we? We had the Mourinho's, the Van Gaals, even Ruben Amorim, and it hasn't worked. But this seems to, I don't know. So the question, what I'm trying to get at, Gary, is everybody's calling Ineos. There was a massive
protest before Fulham.
What do you call it? Put together before
the Fulham
1958 against Ineos and the Glazers, all against the Glazers. But do you actually think that Ineos, right, are doing it right? Do you think, like, obviously they've been handed this club, there you go, and it's in absolute dire straits.
Mess.
So what they're doing is they're saying, right, you know, like in a normal business, if you've got 10 people working in a shop area, but you haven't got that many people coming in, you would come in and go, right, sorry, but we only need 3 people in there, 2 people. So the rest of you have lost your job. So that's what they've done. It looks like they're like saying, right, the canteen staff, right, you're not needed. They're sacking them and they're paying millions of pounds for players. The players is bringing the revenue in, let's not forget. But what doesn't mean that we need 20 chefs. You only need 4. So they've made all them decisions, which makes them look bad. I personally think that he loves Man United, Jim Ratcliffe, and he wants to be the one to say, I turned them around. That's what I personally believe. And I think he's doing everything right. Yes, he's getting stuff wrong. He backed Ten Hag. He should have sacked him. He said that he's still on the podcast. Now he's back.
He's admitted it, hasn't he? He's admitted that he made a mistake, and that's good. He's the first time the owners have ever came out and admitted and speaking to like the fan base about it. It's great.
It is. And I just kind of get, I just, like with both Kuna and Bembo, but there's a lot of signings happened, like you've just mentioned there, like your Dogu, your Lamans, your Aiden Heavens, the future coming through. Little Melvin's making a good point here, and I personally shut you down last night on the train because of this, but then you explained and you said because Ronaldo's on strike. Ronaldo on strike at the minute, would you let him come back into the club and coach Sesko to make him one of the best of the best? Would you allow that, or do you think like we've made that mistake? Because it's very Ollie. It looks like it's Ollie mirrored this Carrick thing, doesn't it? Solskjaer was having a mint run, and we brought Ronaldo in, and it kind of upset the apple cart, and that's when things started happening. I personally shot you doing, Gary, because I thought you meant bring him back to play, but you didn't. You meant him bring him back, put him in the training ground, Sesko and stuff, get him as part of the management. Is that what you meant?
Would you do it? I would. If he's on strike or whatever is happening, there's something to do with women's rights or whatever, and he really cares about the club. That's what he's saying. He wants to. He hopefully wants to like be part ownership at some point. Like, why wouldn't he? If he can come in and work with that squad and help, and he wants to, then I just don't think that you could turn that opportunity down. I don't think it's a no-brainer. So
do you agree with us on the other point that Ineos is doing all right? Or do you think that's the Glazers' puppets?
No, the Glazers didn't want to like sell the club, so that was the next best option. I think Ineos is putting themselves in a position where if the Glazers ever sell down the line, they're going to be the first refusal and they will buy the club. There's no two ways about it. Why would? But as long as they're still recruiting, they're still bringing money in, they're still spending the money on the team to improve it, which they are. I just think you've got to just go on with it. Really, haven't you?
No, I do. We'll move on from Manchester United unless anybody gets in the comments and has a say. I'm going to mention this though. Richie Morris has put in. Don't forget to mention Mighty Ella 4-1 win today. Where we were playing Phil Charlton's team in our Annick.
Right, aye.
Phil Charlton, the hardcore red as well in our home away Europeans, and they got after that. Actually, they took the lead 1-0. And this team, this Annick team, hats off to them. They've come from like Division 14 and like worked their way up, and then they come up against our lads today, who are a strong bunch of lads. It proved too much for them in the end, but excellent display, like a proper togetherness. The kids, honestly, mate, like I've been out for about 3 months there, and I don't even know how I lasted so long. Like I just slotted back in, and it's mint, and I just love it. And it's just, when you see them, like, when I seen the day, and I thought, wow, that's mental, that. Like, because obviously they're changing the rules. So normally if somebody handles in the box, they're like, handball. Like somebody headed it in the box, and our little team were going, he headed it, header. And the referee had to blow because you're not allowed to header it. I was like, it's fucking absolutely mentalist. But 4-1 win for Ella, top of the league. Get in.
Good stuff.
I've gone through a couple more messages because there's quite a few coming in. David Hucknall there. Good evening, David. I hope you're well, pal. He said he would. David said he would.
He would what?
He would bring Ronaldo in. Things that was spot on there. Reece May, fantastic result yesterday, Melly. We've got something happening now with Carrick. I think so, mate. Do you keep him on, Gary? Do you give him the job at the end of the time, or?
I've told you, I've explained like the way I see it. If he's just there to coach, I mean, hats off to Steve Holland as well. Like, he's obviously Woodgate's been doing a lot of work with the defenders, but it just looks like it's working. I don't see why you would, if he continues this to the end of the season, why you would reset and start again. I get there's managers out there, but are they going to be hard at the?
Who would you want?
Luis Enrique, if he's available.
I would say Emery.
I would keep Carrick.
Emery from Villa for me. As the Premier League inside, dude. He's a good manager. I mean, he himself lost a couple of good players, and then he's fighting at the top. You know what I mean? So. But I can see why I see Enrique as well. Like Paris Saint-Germain, he knew that he had to get rid of Mbappe, which is a massive, massive call. Like, to get rid of Kylian Mbappe. I know he wanted to leave as well, but he also saw him down when you're not doing enough. Like you've got to do this, you've got to do that. So they've let him go, and they haven't like tried to keep him. And then they went on to win the Champions League and everything. They looked absolutely invincible. So I understand why you're saying that. In regards to Ronaldo, George Lex on here, he's saying I wouldn't bring him back if he filled the stadium with gold pigs. See how you feel, George. Lads, J. Cole saying, lads, I don't know what you think, but every club gets rid of staff, etc. It's just made news because it's United. I think so, and I think it's because it was obviously because it was like people with normal jobs that were losing their jobs, you know, like and not hierarchies. But
I think at one point, I'm sure I heard at one point that apparently we had like 100 scouts or something like that working for the club. I mean, it does seem extreme that like
how many?
Hundreds. I'm sure there was 100 scouts working like
obviously
run the work for the first team. Well, exactly, that's what I mean. Where they've come in, they've obviously like said that they've went, well, what are these 100 scouts doing? Like the recruitment's been absolutely dire for the past 10 years. So surely they're not doing a very good job.
We've got even Martin Gallen on the night, and this is a privilege because Martin's on a Western. He's on a Western cruise. I would love to get some of the picture. In fact, 2 seconds. Let's have a look. Only on when you're winning. You're only on when you're winning, he says. We'll move on, Gary. We'll just nip into this one here, mate. It was Chelsea against Wolves. Obviously, the results ended the way that everybody thought it would end. It was Wolves 1, Chelsea 3. Cole Palmer getting the first half hat-trick, 2 of them being penalties, and then an assist from Cucurella. He gets his third. Second half, it's 1-0 to Wolves. Orikadori, or Orikadare, whatever you call him. I'm pleased that, I'm going to be honest here, I'm pleased that Chelsea won the game before Garnacho come on because, honestly, I cannot stand that little shit anymore. So he comes on the second half. He doesn't make any difference. His last 3 games have been absolutely diabolical. I mean, let's show you here just so you know that I haven't just got to do 6.3, 6.2, 6.5, 6.6. I mean, he comes on there, mate. Chelsea are 2. Which game was it? Chelsea were
West Ham. 2. Were they not getting beat 2-0? Of West Ham. He comes off
in the win 3-2.
Yeah.
Aye. So, you know, like, he gives it the big in, you know, like you were saying that he's going to beat Arsenal if Man United can, blah, 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 blah. And it's egg in his face, mate. But it's worrying for Wolves. I mean, Chelsea are obviously chasing us for Champions League spot, but it's worrying for Wolves. They've definitely gone down, aren't they, mate?
They're long gone then, I think.
Aye.
I cannot see them getting out of that. Like I said, the only team I can see maybe making a push for it would be West Ham, but Wolves is gone for me, like, or as good as.
What do you reckon about Chelsea? Do you think they'll? Do you think they can get back?
I mean, they're an outright team. I mean, but they're just very, very hit-y-missy. They'll drop points. I mean, if you look at that West Ham game, they were 2-0 doing that game. I mean, the West Ham had chances to make it even more. I think us and Villa are probably a little bit stronger than them. Obviously, Liverpool's dropped points again that we've got to play all 3 of them teams. And I just think at the minute, like on form and like on performance-wise, I just think we're a little bit better than them other 3 teams.
Yeah. I think we're going to win the league. Right, let's have a look. Let's move on. I'm going to share the screen here quickly. There's a special for Martin Gallen. Here we're going. Here he is, look. Get up, Gallen, lad. Yeah. He'll really rock. He'll really roll. Stay to the night and away we go. Get in. Hey, let's move on. Where are we? Right, let's get back into the football. So we've covered Wolves against Chelsea. Chelsea on a storm. Wolves look like they can't do. Fulham against Everton, mate. Fulham 1, Everton 2. Good result for Everton at Fulham, mate, because they came to Old Trafford and they played football and they could have potentially even nicked it in the end. Let's have a look where we're at.
It was definitely a game of 2 halves, that one. Like I have watched back since. Fulham had like loads and loads of chances in the first half. Like the keeper kept them in the game, to be fair. It looked a little bit like a smash and grab by Everton, to be honest.
1-0 half time to Fulham, and then the second half, Dewsbury Hall makes it 1 each, and an own goal from Leno makes it 2-1. The stats show first half, like you said, 56% ball possession for Fulham, 10 shots on goal, 3 of them on target. Second half, like you say, 8 shots from. How can they have 8 shots? 1 shot on target, but scored. Oh, it was an own goal. Bugger. Eh? Bugger. So let's have a look at the standings for them, mate. Everton 28th. Are you surprised by that? Did you expect that?
I am, because it was like a poor start of the season for them as well, wasn't it? Aye, but they've definitely turned the corner, like.
Fulham dropped to 10th. 2 defeats off the trot there. One to us.
Like I say, Fulham, we were both impressed with them. Like, they were lucky not to get out of the game against us.
They were.
They're a good side.
I agree. When they come back to 2 each, I thought this is. Had that been 6 weeks ago, we'll lose that game, didn't you? I keep saying this. Like yesterday against Spurs, the game's down to 10 men. It was like watching the Everton game all over again. And I was thinking, well, this is exactly the same. It's mirroring what happened there. We lost them. They're going to go on 10 men behind the ball. They're going to counter-attack. And can we break them down? And we did. 6 weeks ago, you lose that, and it's proven we lost it against Everton. 10 men. So, they could have nicked it, but they didn't. And moving on to the next game was, sorry. Burnley, West Ham knocked me out of 180 quid this and had over 2.5 goals. Convinced that both teams would concede, but they didn't. West Ham held on, like Gary says. He thinks they're going to do well. He thinks they've got enough to get out. I think they've got a great manager, like you said. They've got a good squad. They've got a good following. I just hope they wait until after Tuesday to do it. But Saturday there, they went down to Burnley. Not an easy ground to go to. We've just come away from there with 1 point. We drew 2s each, so they can't score goals, and they do get up for it. But Somerville scores in the first half, followed by Castellanos, and that's game hour basically, mate. It's 2-0.
2 good goals as well. Somerville's on fire for West Ham. That's what you need though when you're in a bit of a relegation battle. Like you need to have players that's hitting a bit of form for the run end, haven't you? And he seems to be one of them. I think they were saying he scored in these last 5 games.
Who's that?
Somerville.
Oh,
West Ham. Aye, he scored in these last 5 games or so.
Like,
look at that form guy. Aye.
Yeah. I'm gonna start calling you the stat man. You're all proper good with stats and that, like.
Dave Stat man.
Aye, so good win for West Ham, mate. Moving on, Bournemouth won, Aston Villa won. Good result for us, this mate.
It is. Morgan Rogers, another midfielder that's in mint form. Another goal from him. I like Rogers, mate. Like I cannot see him being at Villa too long. He'll get that next move, I think.
I think if Emery comes to Man United, if it did happen, he would bring him.
He looks like a ready-made. Not that I'm saying we'll call Bruno Fernandes and stuff like that. Aye, he's brilliant. He's a good ball carrier, aye, but he's got a good eye for goal and all. I don't know what people think on here, like Toon fans, like are the Eddie in or the idiots, but a few quotes this afternoon coming out about you've seen these with Tonali going to Man United.
Oh, mate, honestly, I've got some things, I was keeping it until the game. Aye. I want to get people's opinions on it. It's I want to go into depth about it. But let's just cover this quickly, right? I didn't want to mention him because I didn't like him neither, mate. But Sancho's actually playing quite well,
He sets the goal up, doesn't he?
Aye, he does. He sets the goal up, and he's 6.4, 7.6, 7.1. He's for being like a bit part player. He's actually doing quite well. I didn't like him, Is that somebody you would bring back under Carrick? You think he could potentially turn a corner? And
I'll be honest, Melly. I just didn't see where he gets in our team now. He's not as good as Ahmad. He's nowhere near as good as Mbeumo, and he's nowhere near as good as Cunha. I think if he came back, he would literally be sitting on the bench. If he's finding his level with Villa, not that I'm not saying like Villa's like a bad team, but if he can get game time at Villa and they're happy with him, if we can get like, I don't know, 15 million from him at the end of the season and they keep him taking his wages on, I cannot see it, but he might. So I hope he does keep getting like a run of games, because then we might get him off our wage bill.
But he's leaving regardless, isn't he? He's out of contract, so he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Pathetic, really, isn't it? You know, you make it, you get to Man United, and then you start going on like that. Like, as a kid, doesn't matter who you support, you know, like if you get to play for Man United, I'm not just saying it because I support them, but surely you've got to think, right, I'm going to give everything here for the next 15 years.
And you're paying, and they're paying you very handsomely. Like, they're not just asking, you're getting paid like 300 grand a week. Like, it's the least you can do is like put like a bit of effort in. It's just football, isn't it? It's not asking you to do much.
Yeah. But they do it. They're just getting advised stupidly off their agents and stuff. I think, mate, it's absolutely
$1,000,000.
Moving on to Arsenal, they hosted Sunderland, who's been on a good run of form until recently. They seem to have, I don't know if they've just come across some hard ties or they're getting tired or what, but they ended up getting beat 3-0. It was a close first half, though. It was only 1-0 going into the second half, and then Gyökeres gets 2 goals, making it 3-0 Arsenal, who extend their lead at the top of the table to currently 6 points. Sunderland still stay in the top 10, though, which is absolutely magnificent. They've had 2 wins out of the last 5. Do you see Sunderland, first off, pushing to try and get into Europe, or do you think they'll just be happy with a top 10 place?
I think Sunderland's I think they're a half decent side. That scoreline does not like reflect the game. Like, it's flat as Arsenal, that, because I mean Sunderland miss an open net, Broby, like at 0-0. Not just that, their keeper David Raya, obviously, who I think is a mint keeper. He flattered them 3 or 4 things yesterday, and Sunderland could easily have been like two up themselves. And then the last Gyökeres goal was basically Sunderland were throwing the kitchen sink at it. Everyone was up the pitch and then got caught on the break. But the 3-0 doesn't really reflect the scope, the game. Like, Sunderland were definitely in that game for large parts of it. So I don't think they'll be too unbeatable about that result. They'll just go again. They're a decent side, especially at home. Like,
but obviously Sunderland beat Arsenal at home. So, like you say, you know, like, I think they're doing all right. They've got Liverpool next at the Stadium of Light. Let's have a quick look at that run. Sunderland fixtures. They've got Liverpool, then they've got the FA Cup, Oxford away, and then back to the Premier League. Fulham at home, Bournemouth away, Leeds away, and Brighton at home. Then comes the big one. It's Newcastle. Sorry, I was just trying to get somebody to come on the show there, but people don't like coming on, you know. I don't know what's the matter with them. Then they've got so seeing out March is Newcastle in the 22nd of March. How many points can you see them picking up from the next 6 games there, Gary?
At home, I fancy them to do something against Liverpool. Obviously, when do they play them? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday, is it?
On the 11th. What's today's date? 8th. Wednesday, mate.
Wednesday night. I mean, they've just been in a tough game this afternoon, so I can see some of them. I was getting some. I mean, the thing that stands out as well. Obviously, we haven't hit that game yet, but Liverpool's going to be struggling for a right back. Obviously, Szoboszlai's been sent off this afternoon, and they've literally got no one for that. So it'll be interesting. They're obviously going to have to put someone in there that doesn't play there. So I don't. We'll see, but it's going to be a tough game for them, anyways.
It is. I hope you're right. I hope they beat them, mate. Sorry about that. He's messaging this. He's just, he says he's our shy. He's not our shy. I wish we could get him. I know it'd be good crack. I'm trying to get Steve Ray for him, but he's he's having a drink. So he says not tonight. Moving on anyway, mate. Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 1. That was today. a goal from Saar, seeing the victory head back to M23 Derby. I suppose it is, isn't it? It's not too far away, really. Aye. You didn't realise, do you, how many derbies that actually is? You think Liverpool, Man U, Man City, Newcastle, Sunderland, but like in London, there's quite a few, isn't there?
All right.
A good win for Crystal Palace, mate, because they've been struggling really lately. They drew, lost, drew, and then obviously won the day. Brighton, on the other hand, obviously they beat us in the FA Cup. I can't believe that. But, mate, they've picked no points up in the last 5 games.
I was saying the day, I mean, I watched that game like it's 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes of my life I'll never get back, like, so it was awful. But the saying he's under pressure, that manager, like he's saying 9 points in 5 games.
The Palace manager's obviously come out and said he's leaving. Do you think that was the right thing to do, or do you think he should have waited?
I think he's kind of spat his dummy out a little bit, didn't he? Obviously, the Saudis better players hadn't brought anyone in. I mean, he spat his dummy out, I'm saying, but then obviously they went and backed him by signing like obviously that Strand Larson and Brennan Johnson like at the last day of the transfer window. So I mean, they have backed him. Like it's not like they haven't spent any of the money. So it remains to be seen, doesn't it? But looks like Mateta's on his way out.
Who?
Mateta. He was like, there was AC Milan now, so it was trying to buy him, wasn't there?
Do you take him at United or not?
I don't think he fits like the players we want. I mean, don't get us wrong, I would have had him at the beginning of the season. But I just think the system, I mean, young Sesko can barely get like a look in because he seems reluctant. He wants to play in Brentford through the middle by the looks of it, doesn't he? So, it doesn't look like the sort of player that we want to go for, I think.
I just wanted to join Gary for the song Kuna Matata. What a wonderful day. Let's move on quickly then. Where are we? What I'm going to do is, so today, Liverpool 1, Man City 2. What a game. I didn't know if you watched it. Honestly, Liverpool take the lead. What a hit from Szoboszlai. He is one of the best players in the Premier League, mind. I've said it for a long time.
Brilliant strike, that.
Amazing. He thinks he wins it for Liverpool, but still, Haaland, who does very little all game, Van Dijk had him in his pocket, wins a flick on. Little Silva sneaks in, puts it in, ones each. And then Haaland gets a penalty and scores 2-1. Liverpool send the keeper up for corner, the breakaway, the shoot. It's rolling in, and Erling Haaland is chasing Szoboszlai. He obviously beats him because he's an absolute machine. Gets by him. Szoboszlai pulls him back. He then goes on to score, but he fouls Szoboszlai after being fouled 10 yards back. So then VAR get involved. They bring it back, they send Szoboszlai off, and they give Man City a free kick. What do you do there? I was saying to Wallace before, like it even happened, I says, he's got to get sent off. I says, he's pulled them back. I says, they're going to disallow this goal, and it ended up happening. And Gary Neville's on the telly saying, nah, just allow the goal. But rules is rules, Gary, isn't it? You got to abide by the rules, have you not?
It is. I can see why they've done it, but I think like the ref personally, I thought he like managed that situation like the way I would have. He obviously seen the foul by Szoboszlai, and then he sees the foul by Haaland. They get the goal. I think what he was trying to do was he was trying to save the player. Like no one really wants to see players getting sent off. I didn't. I think, and then what he thought is rather than there being like a bit of a double punishment sort of thing, look, I'll just allow the goal to stand. He used a little bit of common sense, and Man City get that goal. Like I just feel like he dealt with the situation like well, but then like you say, VAR steps in. That's all about doing things right, or you know. But I would have been happy enough just to leave it as it was. But like I say, I can see why they've done it. But I just think I think the way he dealt with it was like use common sense.
He did. He used common sense, but let us just give you a different narrative. So Liverpool are pushing for Champions League. Slobosai doesn't get sent off. He goes and scores the next goal in the next game for the winner and the game after for the winner. Knocks Man United and Chelsea out of the Champions League. Is that fair? Or should he, because he committed a foul, he's the last man standing, he's running back to the goal, he knows that it's a goal, he knows by pulling him that he's doing wrong and he could get sent off. Why should he get away with that?
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I get it. I just think, like, in that situation, like, we want, like, referees to, like, you know, you see, like, certain decisions and you're like, why are the refs even bothering with that sort of stuff? Like, I just think, like, he tried to use, like, his common sense, and he thought, well, they've gotten a goal, I'll not send them off, but then, but I get your point as well, like, I do get it. But I just think that he did try to, in that instance, he just tried to use a little bit of common sense and thought, look, they've got a goal, like, I could send them off, but what's the point? But
yeah,
the damned if they do and the damned if they don't, on so
you've just got to,
I get your point though. I would be gutted, like, if that happens, but I see what the ref was trying to do. I don't think he's stupid for what he done, but I get it.
Right, we're going to talk about Newcastle when we come back from the break because we'll spend a little bit of time on it. Little Melvin wanted to come on and give his point, but he keeps coming on and off. 2 seconds. Melly, speak.
He's got mute on, Melly.
Right, unmute your mic.
He's got his microphone on mute, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had his microphone on mute.
Unmute him, but I couldn't unmute him, so it must be on his end. I don't know why it's doing it. Right, look, what we want to do when we come back, we're going to talk about Newcastle and Brentford, the recent form, the Champions League form, the Carabao Cup, and also players coming and players going. Stick with it. Here's my adverts. 2 minutes and 42 seconds long. We'll be back. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Bed, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, Most Cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Yes. Welcome back. So let's talk about Newcastle, Gary. Click on them. Obviously, they lose yesterday, 3-2 to Brentford, which we'll come back to. But let me just look at the recent results, mate. They lose 3-1 against City in the second leg of the Carabao Cup. So now they're out of that. They lose 4-1 to Liverpool. They draw with PSG, which is a good result. They lose 2-0 to Villa. They beat PSV at home 3-0. 0-0 against Wolves. And obviously 2-0 in the first leg of the Carabao Cup. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. 2 points. 1 point and a point in the Champions League. 4 points in the Champions League. So yesterday, the host, Brentford, mate, they're watching it on the train. 1-0, Botman scores, and then Van Aert scores. It's 2-1, half-time to Brentford. Second half underway. Bruno gets, in my opinion, a dubious penalty. He's looking for it. He's always looking for it. But he gets them back in the game 2-2, and you think, yes, Newcastle's going to get on to win this. They're at home. The crowd's up. They've got the players, let's be honest. They've got a good set of players. But again, the dividends, the Gardon and Otara, granted of him scores a cracking goal, 3-2 it finishes. Newcastle lose again at home. What's your thoughts, mate?
I just think it's just a little bit too much for them. Like all the games coming, they just have it. I mean, they've got some good players, like you said. They've got a good squad. It's just not quite big enough. Like you watching the City game and stuff. I mean, like say Reinders and stuff, they didn't come on. But they've got enough players within that squad what they can rotate. It's as if Eddie Howe. I don't think he trusts the whole squad to use them as much, and I get it, like, because I mean, like so Whistle and Baltimore and stuff. I mean, they're struggling them, which is surprising for Whistle really, because I mean he was on fire with Brentford. But apparently he got some stick off them yesterday. Like obviously he basically went on strike, didn't he, to force his move. Very similar to the Isaac thing, but it just. The Newcastle's summer signings just hasn't like worked for him. But I mean, if you look at Langer, what was he like 60 million? Voltamaria 60 odd, 70. Wissa 60 odd. And he's speaking to fans, and they're like, "We need a striker, someone that can put the ball." And I'm thinking, that's like 200 million we've just spoke about there. Like you should be putting the ball in the net for that. And to be honest. Obviously, the director of football left before the transfer when they kicked off that Paul Mitchell, who like he's got a good reputation. So it's literally on Eddie Howe. There's no other way of looking at it. He recruits. I think it's him and I don't know if one of his family members or something. They help, but they're like he literally is responsible for the recruitment. He's got his hands on, and I just think he soons and looks like a bloke that's under a lot of pressure.
I think you're right, and like a lot of people say that Newcastle got bought with the Saudi PIF, whatever they're called, and they haven't been able to do whatever they want. But like you just said there, they spent 200 million in the summer on players that I think like the backup players really more than out. I mean, Elanga, surely, somebody within theirs went, wait, let's watch his games at Man United and then let's watch him at Forest. He wasn't getting like full games at Forest, He had a good few games, but he wasn't like, he was getting dropped as much as he was getting, as much as he was playing. And then Newcastle went and paid 45, 50 million for him. I like Ramsey. They bought Ramsey, and I think he will be a good player, like you put it. Is he just too injury prone? Wally Mead got off to a good start. Now he's I don't even know, mate. But then you look at Wissa, right? He's Premier League proven. He was the star player at Brentford, but was he the star striker? I don't think he was. I remember him playing white. And then he's gone to Newcastle, and I'm thinking, right, he's a number 9. He isn't. No,
a lot of his goals, if you watch from when he was at Brentford, a lot of his goals were set up by Mbeumo just squaring the ball across the box. He would run, tap it in. Like Mbeumo would be beating the man, he would square it, and Wissa would come running in and finish it, granted. But, I mean, the way Newcastle play, though, you've got Gordon on one side, you've got Harvey Barnes on the other side, and then he's coming through the middle. They're the sort of forwards, like what we've struggled with for the last, 3-4 seasons. Selfish players in their own right, where everyone wants to score. So Harvey Barnes isn't looking for Wissa. He's cutting in, he's wanting to shoot. Gordon's coming in the other way. He's wanting to cut in, he's wanting to shoot. There was only Murphy that was doing it, where he's not like a selfless and he's looking for the man. There's only him that really does that. The others, like what I've just said there, we have the likes of like Garnacho and Rashford. They all wanted to be the main man and score, so they were looking to pass. Now we've got players that's looking for, if someone's in a better position, you're looking for them and you're scoring. They just haven't got that, I don't think. I think that's what it is.
I think losing Isak was more than just losing the goal scorer, wasn't it? It's like it's really, really affected them. Which I mean, we'll keep talking about it, but it brings us on to this. I believe that if Newcastle basically, I've said this, right, Gary, and I stand by it. If you look at Newcastle on paper, right, they are 3 or 4 players away from being world class, and I mean world class. Some of the players they have are absolutely outstanding. If they have got an out-and-out striker banging goals in, and they add a couple more, like another central defender, because I think Chow's been hit-y-missy, but it's his first season, but he's very good, and you can see he's very good. A right back. They've got Harvey Barnes, they've got Gordon, they've got Murphy, and they've got Elanga. So their wings is all right. You can alternate them and bring different kind of techniques into the game, right? So that's all right. They've got Bruno, they've got Tonali, they've got Joe Linton, they've got Lewis Miley, who sit in the middle. Absolutely fantastic. Like, they aren't far away from being absolutely fantastic. But that being said, mate, because of the season that they've had, and we said this at the beginning of the season, you need a load of squad players. If you didn't recruit, you're going to have a bad season, whether that's like in the Premier League or whatever. And it's probably going to turn out to be exactly what was said, because they've got all these groups of games and they cannot cope with it, right? Not only that, anyhow, like we are a prime example of it, right? You know, stick with more, you know, blah, 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 blah. Somebody else has come in and went, right, now you're playing here. This is what we're going to do. Can't play to your strengths, shows what you can do, you'll keep your place. Like, anyhow, mate, it seems to be that, this is just my opinion, because I absolutely love the bloke. I think he'd be an excellent England manager, by the way. But you kind of know which 11's going to start for Newcastle, and you kind of know which players will come off at what time. Now, if you're a professional football coach, right, that has got to be the easiest person to play against. Yes, initially, it'll be hard, but once you narrow it, and then the next season he does the same again, and you're going, right, we're playing Newcastle the weekend. Hold on a minute, the last 2 years, right, this is the team he's going to play. This is how he's going to play. And they're the subs that he's going to make, right? This is what we're going to do. It's easy to play against, and it's proven this year in the Premier League. They've done all right in the Champions League because they're playing teams that aren't analysing their performances week in, week out. They're focusing on their league. So in the Champions League, they're doing all right. But in the Premier League, they're not. And I believe that's why. And I think that this is going to happen. I mean, it's been quoted. Let's share this. It's been quoted that Sandro Tonali, I got told that Tonali took his wife down to London to have the ban in a London hospital. I don't know if that's right, but then this has been released today. Tonali's agent reveals starters ready to quit Newcastle after Arsenal offer. He is absolutely world class, mate. He's world class. Tonali. He's probably going to be one of the best midfielders the Premier League seen, like with Rodri and you've got your Keeds, your Scholes, people like that, De Bruyne. He is very, very good. But Newcastle are on the brink of potentially losing these good players. They lost Isak. Look, something's happened background, right? And he's went, no, you said that you were going to invest and we were going to be winning Champions League, Premier League, etc., etc. Buying Elanga from Nottingham Forest is not showing that kind of like, you know what I'm saying, mate?
Aye.
So Isak's like, nah, I'm out, and he's gone, he's left. people will have their opinion and say, no, this happened, that happened. Ultimately, if Newcastle had brought in players, do you think Isak leaves? No, he's just secured Champions League. He's scoring goals for fun in the Premier League. You give him the money that he wants. You give him the players around him that he wants. And not only does he become a better player, but your team becomes a better team. So he's obviously hasn't been given that, or he hasn't had any indication that they're going to do that. So away he goes. Next up, it's Tonali. Bruno will probably stay because he is a proper fan's favourite, and he loves that. But your better players will end up going, nah, I'm away. I want to win something. It's a short career. And if you're not going to show us that you're going to do that, then I'm away. And if that means for me, one of two things. You need to, one, bring in good players and have good squad players as backup. So when you bring them on, it's not really disrupting the team that much. But two, you need a coach who hasn't just got a plan A. He hasn't got, and Moran was the same. He didn't have a plan B or a plan C. He literally only had a plan A. And
he admitted it in his press conference as well that he doesn't have a plan B. If plan A doesn't work, he only has plan A.
It's mental.
It is. It's crazy.
These guys are at the top of the game, man.
Like you said,
Ruben Amorim must be sitting at home, Gary Gann. Idiot. Why didn't that just change?
You made a good point before, and you mentioned about like the money and stuff like that. So if they're fighting to get into Champions League spaces as well, right? So the top 4, top 5. They look at the other teams in the top 4, top 5, what they're willing to pay wage-wise. To compete at that season after season after season, to get into the Champions League, you're going to have to, at some point, look at your wage structure and start paying them wages. There's no two ways about it. I don't care if you think it. I don't care what you think about it. That's what you got to do. Or you're not going to keep them because if he's just coming into work to kick a football, which so is the rest of the teams, right? Why will he just settle for 150 grand a week, be the club's captain, playing 60 games a season, when he's mate doing the roads, making double that? Because they're getting in the Champions League consistently. You've got to pay them wages, otherwise it'll be all right. You'll have a good season, then you'll get in the Champions League. Yeah, right for that season, but next season you'll get, nah, I'm not staying around here. I'm playing out these games to get in the team in the Champions League, and then I'm just not being rewarded for it. The other side of it is the Isak one. Like, obviously, why did they not just sell him at the beginning of the transfer when they began? Look, the bloke's heats are returned. They said they were going to dig the heels in, and he wasn't to leave. And then you sell him on the last day of the transfer window. It just makes you look like an absolute idiot, doesn't it? It really does. Like, fair enough if you can dig your heels in, you're not going to budge. But then to wait until the last day and then sell them anyway, like, it just made them look so weak. And then they were scatterbuying, weren't they?
Just what you just said. If they sell Isak at the beginning of that window,
then
Liverpool can buy Ekitike, and in my opinion, Ekitike is a better player. He'll become really good. He's really good. I like him, and it's hard to say that as a Man United fan about a Liverpool player. But you're right, Malcolm. It's that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying. You've got coaches and you've got levels, just like you've got players and you've got levels. Eddie is a lovely man. He's won the first trophy that the Toons won for 70 years, and he is a good man manager, I would say. Is that the word I'm looking for? Man manager. But when it comes to team, he's doing. He did the same with Bournemouth, if you remember rightly, mate. You know, like, he always had them consistently, like, competing and playing good football. But what do the Toon want? Are they happy just to have that, or do they want to get on and win Champions League and win Premier Leagues? Because if they do, they've got a serious decision to make. And I think the rot started when Amanda left, because I think she genuinely loved the Toon. I think she obviously was looking like to invest properly and, you know, keep them coming in. And something's happened behind closed doors, mate, for her to just, like, literally overnight, see you later, I'm away. Ta-da.
I think that she wanted to be similar to what's happening now at Man United. I think that she wanted to start building, like, a bit of a structure where you've got directors of football, you've got people like that make the decisions. And I honestly believe that someone mentioned in the comments before there, and they literally said what I was thinking. The PIF have given Eddie Howe way too much control of that football club. And it looks like he's making all the main decisions. Well, that's not what she wanted to do. I don't think. I think they were quite willing to sell Isaac, get the money, reinvest it properly in the squad, and that's what that Paul Mitchell was going to do. Mm-hmm. They haven't. Eddie's kicked off. That's the way it looks. Sparry's done mute, got his own way. They've spent 200 million in the last year. They went like towards the end of the transfer window, and it just hasn't worked. That's the way I see that's happened, and I think that's why they have left as well. I just didn't think like that the structure's there. But
let's jump in the comments, see what people are saying. Malcolm Ramsey, don't blame Tonali if he wants out. Whatever dream Eddie sold him isn't playing out. If we don't get Champions League next season, which probably isn't going to happen, then I wouldn't blame him. Just hope the club can deal with it properly and not the way they dealt with Isaac. David Hucknall saying Man City are looking tired. They're digging results out, and I think that result tonight, mate, is gonna put shockers up Arsenal. Sometimes not playing with somebody else, one of your competitors, challengers, is playing. Come up with that, it rocks the boat. I hope this is gonna sound mad, but I do not want Arsenal winning the league.
No, they could be within 3 points when Arsenal play the next game. Because Arsenal play Thursday night, don't they? So City play Wednesday at home against Fulham. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, from 12 it's down to 3. And you're like, oh. Away to Brentford now. Brentford will not want to do Arsenal any favours.
Nah.
So
no, my derby really, innit? It's only 20 minutes away.
It's getting to that end of the season now where like teams will either kick on or they'll start dropping and it'll get squeaky bum time, and we'll see what they're made of.
Aye. Getting back to Man United's Carrick, the man, look what happened with Ollie. He was in the same boat and went to folk once he got the job full time. But the only way to find out is go for it and find out. Definitely, mate, we've said the same. He's done no wrong, and if he gets Champions League, then you've got to give him his chance. Both. Mm-hmm. Sunderland are the only team who hasn't been beat at home.
Right.
Some start that. You said that. I said that to Perry in the sauna. Says, I bet you, under your wildest dreams, mate, never thought that you could say that at this point of the season, that you've been unbeaten at home in the Premier League. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Evening, guys. Great result yesterday, says Damien Simmons. Good evening, Paul. I hope you're well. Billy Noble, nice to see you again, Billy. Thanks for joining us. Some Toon fans were booing Wissa when he went off. Rightly so. You're getting paid stupid amounts of money. You know, like if you went to paint at somebody's house and you left 2 walls unpainted, you get booed or kicked out. One of the two. All Eddie's signings, Malcolm Ramsey says, has been pretty bad. PIF have given Howe and his nephew it's his nephew, mate, too much power.
I knew it was some sort of a
the Gentle Giant saying Ramsey and Willock aren't very good either. I think Ramsey's all right. He's a good player, and I think Willock, that, you know, like if they get a run of games, the trouble is, mate, right? You've sold Longstaff and you sold Anderson, 2 good central midfielders there. Anderson's probably gonna go for good money in the summer to somebody quite big. They're not getting that chance because of the likes of Tonali, Bruno, etc. And I know you're gonna jump in and say we needed to sell him for PIF, but you didn't really need to sell him. You could sell Bruno for 120 million. And now that's not gonna. But ultimately, like if you want to, the trouble is what we were saying before. You like the Isaacs and that. You get 100 grand here. You get 200 grand at Liverpool. Knee bar. I'm away at Liverpool. He's got knee ties. He's Swedish. You know, it doesn't matter to him. Yes, he loves the Geordies, but that's because he's getting paid 100 grand a week. He's scoring goals, and you're showing him love. So you're showing him it back. But it's different when he's a Geordie. Anderson's a Geordie. You know what I mean? He potentially would have looked at them contract offers and went, but I'm a Geordie. You know what I mean? I want to win stuff with my home team. Yes, your eyes might be swayed, but you've got more chance of Anderson staying as you have Isaac because there's knee lightly in football unless you're from the town for who you're playing.
He needed more game time as well, though, didn't he? Like we've said this for the last few seasons. Eddie he likes to play the same teams, the same players. Sorry, and he doesn't give like the younger lads coming through like as much game time. That's why Anderson wanted to leave as well. Like he wants to be playing football and against one chance. So look at him.
Huh? Lewis Hall, mate. You know Lewis Hall, cracking player. Do you think if Man City come in for him now, he's gonna go? No, I'm staying. I'm staying here.
Chelsea come back.
I honestly think they'll be away, mate, because I don't think they've got anything like. I don't think in the background that anything's happening where that's think, no, we're going to stay. We're going to win the Champions League. We're going to do this. Like Man United, I'm getting back onto Man United. As poor as they've been, are you telling me Kuna couldn't went to a better club and won Champions League football? Like played Champions League football with a team that's got a chance to win Champions League? Of course he could.
Well, he had offers, didn't he, of Newcastle and
but they want to come and they want to be the player who says, no, we help Man United back to where they were. Like, that's the kind of players that you want. You've ended up going for Elanga and Walter Mead, and it's just, I don't know how you could have spent your money better. And that's been said on every single summer window. You've lost cracking players and gained mediocre. Yes, buy them. By all means, buy them. They are good squad rotation players. But they aren't players that are going to win your Champions Leagues and keep you in the top 4. They're not the squad rotation. On top of that, what you've bought, you need to go out and make marquee signings. Boom, boom, boom. You've got the money. Surely, you can't tell me that the PIF people who will give them the money out aren't as intelligent as some Premier League chiefs, some ex-politicians and solicitors. Yes, they're intelligent, but these guys have made billions of quid. They should be light years ahead. And it's proved with Todd Bowley in the Man City that we'll do what we want and we'll find a loophole to get through it. We'll deal with it when it comes. Well, nearly 7 years, whatever it is, from City, 115 charges. Nobody even knows what's going to happen. They're probably going to get away with it. It's only the smaller clubs, like Everton and Leicester, where they can bully them and say, nah, you're getting 30 points deducted, 15 points deducted. These are owned by some proper, intelligent people, mate. They haven't become multi-billionaires through being stupid.
No.
So then you've got to question the fact, and I say this to Malcolm Ramsey quite a bit, is Eddie Howe taking all the flack when really the owner should start getting a little bit of flack as well as Eddie?
Mm-hmm.
Because Man City came in, mate. Man City came in, they hadn't won a trophy for Jesus. Came in and said they're going to win the Premier League within 5 years. They won the Premier League within 5 years, mate.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean?
Serious.
And they had good managers. They had Mancini. They had Pellegrini. They had Mark Hughes. They went through the managers till they got to the manager that they really wanted. Newcastle was ready. The nice guy. He does this. He does that. And for me, personally, I think if they want to get to the next step, then they need a new manager. If they didn't, then Eddie's the man for them. Hi from Gibraltar, says Gary Skerfield. Hello, mate. I hope you're well.
Gaza.
Yes. The northeast of England does not suit world-class football. Premier League quality is Manchester down. Billy, Gary, I've got to totally disagree with that. It's a proper pet hate of mine, that, because it's the same in the Acton. Everybody in Acton thinks that the north is Manchester, and that's it. There's some excellent talent up here. Fantastic. Some of the best players have come from the northeast. I mean, Alan Shearer, he still holds the Premier League record. You know what I mean? Like, I disagree with that massively, mate. Sorry.
If you're paying, I mean, let's just put it this way, because I disagree as well. If you're, like what I said before, if you're willing to pay the wages, pay the sums, pay the fees, players will come. They will come. Remember that Russian team, Angie Makalaka, whatever, about 10, 15 years ago, they were signing Blumen, Eto and Aldi's. That fly 3,500 miles to play their home football matches. You pay the money, they'll come. They will.
Let's be honest, mate. We got on a flight and we were at the other end of the country. We were sitting in Southampton an hour later. Mm-hmm. You can be anywhere in this country within an hour. So it doesn't matter. If you want the London life, you can have it. You can get there in half an hour, 45 minutes, it's no problem. Newcastle's got a cracking fan base there.
Good setup, everything.
Excellent setup. I think they need to recruit better. I think the junior academy needs to be a lot better than what it is, because a lot of players slip the net. And I think they need to be given a better chance, but that's another thing. Billy Noble saying, especially when Isaac told them in March that he was away. Mm-hmm. That's bad. Darren Eales couldn't work with Amanda. She had too much power. Anderson is going to the fake United, mate. I hope you're right. I'll take him tomorrow. Calvert-Lewin should have been in for a free. Exactly 100%. He'll score your goals. He's proven in a poor Leeds team, really, he's still scoring goals. NUFC just don't have that market yet. Try to be financially honest. The only way to succeed now is to cook the books and cheat. You're not cheating. You cook the books, but ultimately you're not cheating because you should be allowed to buy whoever you want if you can afford it. It's like us, like if you want to go and buy a nice car and you can afford it, you cannot. You cannot because the neighbor hasn't got one. You know what I mean? It's not how it works. Paphos is owned by a Russian. They now have David Lewis playing for a little Cypriot village. That's a random fact. Cheers, Billy.
I think what he's saying is like it doesn't matter who the team is, you can attract, but you just gotta pay the money and they'll come. Which is fair enough. I agree with you.
Oh yes, I forgot we talked about that, mate. Right, we'll move on. We'll quickly do our predictions, mate, for this week coming. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Where are we? Premier League. First up, Chelsea are at home to Leeds. Get your what you think it'll be, your predictions in the comments, please. If you're on anyway. How do you see that
Chelsea, Leeds. Like I said before, Leeds at home, they're right, but on the away, the struggle. Chelsea's pretty strong at home. I can't say out other than a Chelsea win, to be honest. I'm going to go on 2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go on ones each. I think off the back of that win there against Forest, will be bouncing. Chelsea are playing well. I know what you're saying, and they're at home. I'm going to go on ones each. Billy Noble thinks it'll be 4-0 to Chelsea. There's another one, Chelsea. Roman Abramovich came in. He changed football, by the way, in the Premier League. But he came in and he did the same. Chelsea won the league within a few years. So it is possible. Yes, you have got to bend the rules, but it's possible. 2-1, David Hucknall says to Leeds. Leeds? Right. Everton, Bournemouth. How do you see that going, Gary?
I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. I'm going to go on 1-1.
1-1?
Yep. At the Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Well, I hope I can get tickets. 2 weeks on Monday. I thought it was a week on Monday. I'm going to go for a home win. 2-1 Everton. Billy Noble thinks it'll be... Billy Noble thinks it'll be 1-1. Hard game this for the Toon. Away to Spurs. How do you see that, guys?
I thought, like you say yesterday, I thought Spurs were they definitely come to have like a game. Like they're not bad. I see goals in this game. I'm going to go on 2-2.
2-2.
Desmond.
I think the Toon will probably nick it. It'll be the type of game where they're going to nick it.
Aye. You're not going to say the Toon's going to win, are you?
You know what it is? It's here. It's trying to come in. I'm like trying with everything to not see it. No, I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. We will give Spurs their first win, says Billy Noble. He's gone 2-1 to Spurs.
Eddie really has lost them, hasn't he?
He has. Billy, are you Eddie in or Eddie out? David Hucknall, 2-1 to the Town, he says. Let's see what Billy says. But anyway, moving on. Another London game is Man United visit the Hammers, West Ham. How do you see this guy? I didn't want to mention him because Fingy, but if we win, he gets a haircut.
I cannot see anything but a United win. I'm going to go 3-1.
Gary, I'm going to mirror you, and that's exactly what I had in my head. 3-1, Manchester United. I think Sesko will score, Bruno, and Harry Maguire off a corner.
It'll be interesting to see if he mixes the team up a little bit, because obviously we've been having a full week between games recently, but obviously with it just being a 3-4 day turn, I wonder if he mixes it up a little bit. It'll be interesting to see.
Gary, we've been here, haven't we?
Aye.
You know the picture you look at and you think that the two will win. Not that long ago. Well, hang in there. Hang in, Rama. Honestly. Hey, Billy Noble.
We used to be shade.
Yeah, and then he asked you to send that video. We are back.
We are
2 minutes
back.
by the time I got in. Premier League on Wednesday starts off Aston Villa against Brighton. How do you see that going, pal?
Brighton were awful again the day. Like I said, 90 minutes of my life, I'll never get back that. I can't say anything other than a Villa win, especially at home. They're strong. I'm going to go 2-0 Villa.
Yeah, I think I'll go 3-1. I think Brighton will score, but I think Villa will be too much for them. They're good at home, like it's a good stadium. That I like Villa Park.
Proper like old school, innit?
You can see why they used to have like the semi-finals and that there, can't you? It kind of like keeps the sound in, doesn't it? It's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, Richie's gone doing there with young Jake. He's getting away tickets. He says he's never done Villa 4. I says he'll love Villa, mate. Honestly, fantastic. We love it.
Did you say?
Eh?
Is he staying or is he?
I think so. I think he is now. I think his lass has got relatives or something and they're staying.
Doing that?
Aye.
Make sure the Ben gets a hold of Foreman.
Billy Noble reckons it'll be 3-0 to Villa. Moving on, Crystal Palace against Burnley. How do you see that going?
I kind of see Burnley picking much up towards the end of the season, especially away from home. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Palace.
I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. I think they'll get something. I'm just trying to look for this, Gary. Sorry, mate. Sorry. What did you go for, Gary?
2-0 Palace.
2-0 Palace. I am going to go 1s each, mate. I don't know. You know, Burnley, when they play, mate, they can play. They can't play.
Yeah,
I like Scott Parker. He's a pretty good manager.
I just think they're just looking like it looks like it's written in the stars, like they're fate now, and they just. I think that were like obviously another player that right against us. They scored a good goal as well, but they just look defeated now. Like they look like they're now that like I'm doing, and it's hard to like get motivated for games when you've got that look about you. You know what I mean? It's like the fate's already sealed. So, maybe still pick some more up at home, like, but I can't say out of the Palace win. Man
City against Fulham. How do you see that? Billy, reckons it'll be 1-0 to Palace.
City, a big win for them this afternoon against Liverpool. I kind of see out, but them kicking on, I'm going to 3-0. City.
3-0, aye. I'm mirror you. 3 or 4-0, I'm going to go for. Nottingham Forest against Wolves. Big game that, you know.
It is. What's sort of like the points between them? No,
Wolves 18 points.
But
if they win, mate, you know, it helps. And obviously,
it's the hope that kills you.
The hope that kills you. Forest need a win. Like if Forest get the win, and that takes them up with Tottenham and Leeds,
they'll not be far off being relegated. Them other still a few points. I can't say out other than a Forest win. Forest will win that, like especially at home. I'm going to say 3-1 Forest.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1. Billy Noble reckons City will beat Fulham 3-0, and he thinks Forest will beat Wolves 2-0. Moving on to the Mackham, Sunderland, the host Liverpool. It's live on Sky. I think 8:15. Not Discovery Plus or TNT Sports. How do you see that, Gan? I know you mentioned before that you can see an upset. You really believe that? Or
I tell you, I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. I think that's that late goal and stuff today. I think that might have a little bit of an effect. And like I said, with the fullbacks, I think that might rock Liverpool. I can see Sunderland getting stuck into them and getting the 3 points. 2-1.
I hope they do. I mean, Billy Noble's even seeing 2-0 to Sunderland. He's got Sunderland spelt with a 5 and a 1 in. They must have beat them at 5-1 at some point. You still got your 5-0 mug, but you beat Man U as well. Hang on to stuff the Toon fans doing to bless them. He's not mentioning that they haven't beat them in the league since 2012. I mean, that's kids 14-year-old now since he beat them. Mental. The last game of the Premier League this week is on Thursday tonight. Again, live on Discovery, I think. Brentford against Arsenal.
I am going to say 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw?
I'm going to get a 1-1 draw.
Don't know, mate. I think Brentford's a good team. I mean, they've just beat Newcastle 3-2. That's hard. They haven't won at St James's Park for nearly 90 years. It's only a couple of days later. They're back at home. They're hard to play against. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford.
Oh, yeah. Go on, Matt.
I hope so. Makes the title challenge, title race and exciting, don't it? That's what you want.
Billy right does it, aye.
Billy reckons it'll be ones each. Well, Gary, look, that's an hour and 20 minutes we've done for our first one back. I don't know how many people's been on and off. We'll get analytics or whatever that's called afterwards, but I missed that, like.
It's good.
It is, isn't it?
Good,
aye. Tackling with football. It is.
What?
To try and maybe get, like, like whoever we're playing, whoever the two are playing. So, for instance, get a Spurs fan on to come on and give his say. Get a Toon fan on. Get, like, a West Ham fan to come on and just have a big crack. Just to, like, I think
even if we can get it a couple of times a month or something, you know what I mean? Just
aye, exactly.
Well,
especially if we're winning. When Newcastle have moved forward, they need Howe out. PIF have employed the best in the field directors behind the scenes, and Howe has fallen out with them all. So they've gone. We are now at least 2 years behind on activities behind the scenes. I mean, I've got pals on my Facebook who are like, that remember where the Toon were. Remember how bad they were under Ashley and how bad it was before that. And they're just grateful that Howe's come in and we've won something and they can't ever think of even seeing Howe out. And then you've got the other side of the coin where you've got fans going, no, we're moving, we're pushing forward. We've won something, let's push on. Let's win more. We can, we should. Who are you with?
Well, the thing is, like what they're saying, like PIF have employed like the best directors and stuff like that. Well, the field, like the structure massively by bringing in a director of football last year and then not allowing him to do his job. I just didn't get why you employ someone to come in to do your job. He's obviously been in the club. What was it, like maybe 9 months or something since obviously Dan Ashford went to Man United. He come in, replaced him. So he's probably been sitting there for 9 months trying to work through which players he wants to recruitment and blah, blah, blah. And then you push him into a corner where he ends up actually leaving because he's not going to be allowed to do his job because of the manager. Like, surely that's like something we would have done like 2 years ago. Like, it honestly is. Like, but surely you have them conversations before you employ him in the first place. You have the conversation, you say to the manager, you say, look, we're going to bring Paul Mitchell in, he's going to help you with recruitment, blah, blah, blah. He's done 9 months worth of looking around, who he wants, profiles of player. You just got to sit down, make an agreement on it, and that's it. And they've literally got to begin the transfer and he went, nah, I'm away. You've just failed him.
Honestly, I'm not just saying it. I honestly think that you're only what are February, March, April, May, June. You're 5 months away from the summer transfer window, right? Something doesn't happen drastically or something isn't said behind the scenes that I think Newcastle are going to lose a lot of players in the summer because other teams, good teams, are looking at Newcastle and they can see how good they are.
Like players in that team.
So they'll just come in, we'll have him before you know it. You're left with fucking Lascelles. I think he's left actually. You're left with Dan Burn and you know what we're gonna do now? Well, now, but you will want. It's a hard one. It's a hard one, and but it's coming. It's not far away. You come to the end of the Premier League season.
If you haven't got Champions League football,
you
could be out of everything. You could be sitting 12th or 13th in the league. You've got nothing to offer, like new signings, nothing.
But the thing is, as well, it's like when like for instance, if we get you get given something and it's really extravagant, you think, oh, I'll start working hard. I want that. Like it's the same with the Toon. They've went there. You go, all the players. There's Champions League football. We haven't got it next year. good players are going to go, nah, I want to be doing that. It's exactly what I want to be doing in my career. I've only got 6 years left. I've only got 8 years left. Nah, on the agent, listen, get me Champions League football. Well, I can get you Champions League football, and I can get you 70 extra grand a week as well. Do it. Sign it. I'm away. Go see other human beings, man. The career's short.
And like you said, that it's not like the whole massive loyalty to these clubs. They're not from there. They're like the foreigners. You've got Tonali, Bruno. I mean, them two, especially Tonali and Bruno. There'll be Premier League teams that's waiting just to snap them up and pay whatever the fee is. They'll pay the 100 million. If it's 100 million, they will pay it tomorrow.
Ashley spent 130 million over 14 years. So to spend 200 million in one summer is crazy for any FC fans. So Howard's done amazing. I always thought Howard would have a free hit until we have 15, 16 players. But we don't have any option but to sell crown jewels. I understand what you're saying, mate, but you're not 200 million. They could lose that tomorrow and they wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know that they'd lost it.
And look at it this way. Look at it this way, right? So you've invested, right, 200 million in, say, like end of August. So September, October, November, December, January. So 5 months down the line, right? You put that 200 million on the table and you tell us how much you're going to get back of that for Elanga, Volta-Maria and Wissa. What do you think they stand here at, like, realistically? Let's have a quick debate about this. Well, like, Elanga, how much? How much would you say for him, Molly?
20 million, max.
So you get, right. Volta-Maria?
Depends, because Bayern Munich wanted him. So I think.
But do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're gonna look at it as a being success? Like they're gonna be saying, "Look, you'll come back to Germany in a heartbeat." If we offer them, say, 40 million, like they'll probably take our hand because it's not happening. Right, so 60 million, right? Where's that? 28, nearly 29. Just had he's played what, a handful of games? What, 15? 15, 20 million. Big gems, 20, right? So it stands here, 80 million. You've lost 120 million in 5 months. And then look at you imagine if you went to the bank and you says, I've just bought some shares, blah, blah, blah. There were 200 million and they were only worth that. You'd be devastated. And then he can, like, if you give us another 200 million in the summer, I'll reinvest it again. Again. Do you think I'm mental? Do you think I'm mental? That's what you deal with, though, isn't it? Is that not right, though?
It's true.
It's true. Sorry, Mike.
These people that are putting their money into there, they've got to go and explain to them, we've lost. What do you mean you've lost? We've lost 125 million. How? We bought 3 eggs. But Billy Noble's saying it's Eddie Howe and his nephew doing it.
Well, that's it. But then back to the main point. The main point was the crown jewels. They need to regain that money from somewhere, right? So they can, right, we'll get 120 million, we'll sell Tonali. And then, right, then you can hire 200 million, get rid of these 3 knackers for whatever you think they're worth, and then reinvest again. They're not going to give them the chance to do that. I just can't see them, like, throwing another 200 million at them.
Ferry there. Hello, lads. Toon shite. Whistle lives on Sycamore Street.
One for the road.
You know, hard to believe it's not schools.
Not schools.
Right, that's it then, Gary. We're done. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in, messaging. It's good to get your points. If anybody does want to come over anytime, give us a message on Facebook or Gary. We'll get you on and we'll have a bit crack. Thanks, Gary.
Cheers, Molly, lads. Cheers, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah.